Darren Boyce, Head of Global Technical Service, UK and Latin American Sales. This came in 2 phases. The first phase was the initial response whereby we're required to immediately support our existing installed base in the field. So for the service team to bring forward service visits to get any existing anaesthesia equipment up to a state that can be used as emergency support ventilators, and also then to quickly divest our stock into the UK hospitals, our stock of anaesthesia equipment, which can be then used for emergency backup ventilation. So that was the first phase. Of course, the second phase then is reviewing what is it we have here to quickly make an emergency ventilator, not intensive care ventilator, emergency ventilator with the parts we have on hand. So it's 2 phases, and the first phase was instant and very quick, and the second phase we were aware was a crisis period, so that again went very, very quickly in the early phases, just to put together a draft of what we had. And then it was going through the acceptance period with the MHRA. Why wouldn't Penlon be involved in this project? We're a UK manufacturer. Anaesthesia and ventilation is in our DNA, so it was for me fairly neutral, understanding that of course this would happen, of course we'd be involved. Part of what we do is issue resolution. So for me personally, this was one more issue to be resolved, managed, planned. So for the service point of view, we had a rapid plan where we had to upscale our support for the UK, and that involved the teams, and they were superb, voluntarily coming forward to give up their time 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that meant that a relatively small team could deploy incredibly quickly and almost behave like a team 10 times its size. So we deployed directly into the Nightingale centres, so we're on hand at every particular stage, and that then removes any onward issues, clinical training, applications training, technical training, by having, if you like, one of our engineers, rather than working in individuality, is working as an advisor. And we then had our engineers working as advisor to other biomedical teams, and we had some engineers from other companies like Space Labs, who I borrowed engineers from. So we were able to use our experience and the guys' professionalism to captain other teams in support of our equipment. So as you know, Penlon is a relatively small company, very efficient company, very professional, but in terms of people, resource, very limited. So in a project like this, the upscaling is incredibly dramatic, going from what we manage on a run rate compared to what's expected for 15,000, 30,000 ventilators. So the pressure was just the resource. It takes a long time to train up a biomedical engineer, obviously, because of the way the machines are used. So it was really down to efficient planning to keep the team running and together. Those guys dedicated a huge amount of their time, and the main difficulty was literally that resource. My experience of working with the consortium, I have to say, in general, was incredibly positive. The consortium is made up from personalities from all over the different industry, project management, automotive manufacturers, and they've all come together incredibly well, incredibly humbly, in a difficult time. I've never seen a period like this in my history, and all these people have come together, and I think have worked incredibly well together and gelled well as a team. I have to say, nearly at 100% a good experience. All consortium members have worked equally hard. The consortium members I deal with day-to-day, for example, quick release, but we have Williams in the building, we have McLaren, Ford. I think I've had to be in contact with all consortium members at some point, and they've all been, for me, outstanding. I think Penlon's ventilator capability was so important because people think it's very easy to manufacture medical equipment, design it, bring it to market, support it, and it's not. It's not at all. And what is proved that Penlon's, as a relatively small company, has the experience, which counts for a lot, of literally bringing what we have, maybe modifying what we have and changing it into a use that's relevant for the COVID-19. So I'd have to say it's our experience, our years of experience. It's very difficult to pick that up quickly. The knowledge gained through this project, I think, has been invaluable to Penlon, from different working practices which I've utilised, different technologies. The example is remote working. One thing this has taught us is, from a service point of view, for application support, training support, when you upscale to these numbers, I could increase my engineer team by a factor of 10 and it still wouldn't be enough. So you have to look at different technologies. We use Teams a lot. We've used the hollow headsets from Ford to do remote training, and it's these elements that I think will change Penlon for the next phase of its life, without doubt.